is
Thank you.
Chaya Bat. I'm sorry if I mispronounced your name.
That's
And
okay.
the title of the presentation would be Summer Skybox, a device presenting the sky for a personalized day cycle. You have 15 minutes. Go ahead. Good luck.
So, hello everyone. This is Summer Skybox, a device representing the sky for personalized day cycle. My name is Chayapatan Tirashot, a master's degree student from Chibagara Institute of Technology. This is the work done by me and my colleague Hiroyuki Manabe. First of all, I would like to start by saying that time is an intangible concept and something that we did exploration in this paper. There were many research in the past trying to make time more tangible, trying to understand the perception of time. Now, one of the concepts of perception of time that we found is clock time, something that we are familiar with, something that use abstract numbers to show time. And there are something else that called slow technology, something that try to slow down the perception of time, allow us to have reflection. And another one is to find an alternative way to represent time. Now I want to give two examples from previous work. The first one being from slow technology. Lee et al. They design a device that show moon phase, which hang on the wall. It runs on its own and use the concept of slow technology. The second one, Merck used image to represent time. In the picture, it looks like dawn, but it is actually 8 a.m. and our day has already begun, which it is our socially constructed clock time. We have to work at 8 a.m. Now, what are ways to tell time? There are actually many ways that we use. We can look up in the sky, check the sun position, or we can listen to city's evening chime. In Tokyo, there's always a chime at 5 p.m., so you can know time from that. Or we can rely on our body, feel the temperature change from noon to evening, or we can use our internal circadian clock to understand what time it is. But there is actually one unavoidable problem because daytime changes throughout the year. This is this year's sun graph of Winnipeg. As you can see, some days are longer. For example, at 7 p.m. there's still some light. Some days are shorter. At 7 p.m. it's already dark. In Tokyo, where I'm at right now, is similar but less extreme. Now, this daytime change impacted us psychologically because our internal circadian clock, they rely on the sun. But we can't rely on the sun or sky color to tell time, right? So we went back to using a clock, which disconnected us from the nature. And to make it worse, COVID-19 makes us work from home, and it was a really rapid change. Now, only time cues in our home are clock and window. We don't have other things like movement of people in the office, in the classroom, and we may need some help of focus method. So to understand the impact, we conducted a preliminary study, which was an interview. And we found that 6 out of 9 international students fight hard to adapt to this change. Now, we wanted to build something to help this problem, which is our device, Summer Skybox. We have this design rationale. Mainly, we want it to be a physical artifact that plays in user peripheral vision while they are working. There are 3 main aims. The first one, we want to use natural cues of daylight cycle to show an alternative perception of time. Second, we want to provide a constant day cycle regardless of what's happening outside. And the third one, we want it to be a focus timer, a 25 minutes focus timer. Now, I want to start by showing the appearance of it. These are actual images from the main user study. We aim it to be a decoration like a lava lamp or a mood lamp, making it easy to blend in and to place in student room. We want it to be viewable from any side, and its lights can cast everywhere. It can show sky color at any given time. In this chart, it shows from noon to dusk, or basically from bright light to dim and to dark. And it can also show the sun position. Internally, it has compass, so it can orient itself to the real world direction. But this plain day cycle wouldn't be enough. We try to personalize day cycle in this device to user preferred city, or in other words, user's hometown. For example, a student like me from Bangkok living in Tokyo, we can set this device to use Bangkok sunrise and sunset time as my personalized day cycle. On the top image, it shows outside as a sunset, but the device is still showing daytime. In the bottom image, outside is already dark, but the device just began sunset. And this is the first interaction of the device. It runs this cycle automatically, this alternative day cycle. And second, to help students focus when they are working at home, they can flip the device to start a 25 minutes timer like a Pomodoro method. User can start, pause, and flip back when the focus period has ended. It also plays a quick firework animation to celebrate after the forecast period ended. After we designed this device, we conducted a user study, starting by asking 6 out of 9 participants that feel affected by this sun time change. It was a 3-day field study. We start by explaining the concept, show time-lapse video, and configure the device to use user preferred day cycle. After that 3-day period, we conducted an interview to learn how they use the device and how they feel about Summer Skybox. We categorized the result into 3 parts. The first one being something about this alternative day cycle. Now, in this alternative day cycle, we found out that some participants who live without window, they can feel the day progressing from the device. And all participants said that they feel useful, especially after the real world sunset. Some use the word happy, some use the word magical to explain their experience. This extended alternative day cycle seemed to help. Second, some participants show reflection to the passage of time. They feel the flow of time. It can help them focus during the day. Some participants find connection to their hometown by just looking at it and then converting the time zone in their head. Lastly, about the 25-minute focus timer. However, this one received a mixed response. Some praised that it felt natural, using light as a notification. Some disliked it because it is too vague to notice when the focus period has ended. And following to discussion, our Summer Skybox helps participants with this non-numerical nature-inspired clock. It allows users to reflect on this abstract concept of time. It provides some sort of window to their hometown. And lastly, in terms of design, it sparks some question of how accurate the nature representation in design should be. Should it be realistic or should it be a bit abstract? In limitation and future work, we wanted to see how local people who are already maybe adapted to this sun time change feel and react to this device. We wanted to conduct a long-term study to see if this helped. And lastly, we wanted to see a result in a place with more extreme sun time changes. Winnipeg is relatively more extreme than Tokyo, or in places with no nighttime, or even in space where the concept of time is entirely different. And that leads us to the conclusion. Today, we presented Summer Skybox. We see how a small physical artifact that use natural cue to tell time can help user in day-to-day life, trying to augment our perception of time. We presented another example of slow technology and how time can be made a little bit more tangible. Though we had some limitation, but it does give more question about the accuracy of imitating nature in design. How detailed should it be? We think that time, reflection, and long-distance connection are interesting concepts that might spark HCI research community into a broader view. And that's my presentation. I'm ready to take your question now.